We are here to say our farewells to Joe Thomas Barrett.
Fourth. Joe Thomas Barrett, the fourth.
After his 50th game and final game as an Ohio State Buckeye, a 24-7 win over USC in his home state here at the Cotton Bowl. Bill, what would you like to say to JT Barrett?
I thought that JT Barrett had like the quintessential JT Barrett game here. Nothing that wowed you, and like while he was doing nothing that wowed you, he broke another Big Ten record and passed Drew Brees for #1 all-time total offense, right, in the Big Ten. I thought it was a fine game. I also don't think like this game had nothing to do with JT Barrett's legacy, in my opinion. Ohio State could have won, they could have lost. He could have thrown 7 touchdowns. I don't think it would have mattered. I thought his legacy was written before. And I, probably contrary to a lot of people, think that he has a pretty good legacy. His name's all over the record books. I think we knew what he was mostly coming into this year. He made some strides I think that people wanted him to see. So great career. He had a very good, very productive career. He's one of the best Ohio State quarterbacks ever, and he went out with a win like he almost always did. So a nice end, I thought, to JT Barrett's career.
I did a list earlier this year of the top 10 Ohio State quarterbacks of all time. I put him number 2 behind Troy Smith and said then, if they make the playoff and he wins a national championship, maybe he can be number 1. He's still 2 on that list, but I am glad to be done with JT Barrett, and I think he's glad to be done in that kind of way that you appreciate everything that happened, but you wouldn't want to do it for another year. And here's what I'm glad about. I'm glad we don't have to talk about JT Barrett versus Dwayne Haskins anymore. I'm glad that we don't have to watch this record-breaking quarterback and question whether he should be playing. I'm glad that you fans are not going to be put through the guilt of wondering if Ohio State would somehow be better off if one of the 2 greatest quarterbacks in program history wasn't playing. A lot of this wasn't fun. I know he handled it, and it wasn't fun for him sometimes. He's been sort of, in his own way, very clear on that in the last month, that this has been a grind to some degree. He appreciates it. He loves his teammates. He loves his coaches. He loves the program. He doesn't love us. He doesn't love this. And it's not personal. It's just it's been really hard for him, I think. He talks about the haters a lot. It is hard to set every record in the book and have to think about the haters. And I don't want to have to think about that anymore. It's time for something new. It's time for Dwayne Haskins. Or Tate Martell, I apologize. It's time for something new, and it's time to put JT Barrett in the history books, because that is how he will be remembered the best. When you don't have to be wondering about Dwayne Haskins at the same time. You can just look at his record in 44 starts. You can look at his yards. You can look at his touchdowns. And you can say, that was a great quarterback. And you don't have to add, but I wonder if the backup is better. Goodbye to JT Barrett. Great career. Thanks for your help with guys like us for 4 years. But I think this is going to be a new, exciting era in Ohio State football. He's Bill Landis. I'm Doug Lesmerises. We're not going anywhere, and we'll see you guys in the offseason at cleveland.com.